phenomenal experience there. Fell madly in love with things like Jesuit identity and Jesuit spirituality. And then met my husband there. Kept going to grad school, worked as an inner city religion teacher in a Catholic school, worked as a high school youth minister. Ended up working for the Archdiocese of Baltimore for 8 years. And then, because God has a very funny sense of humor, found myself called to Loyola again and finished my doctorate last year. So I am very excited by the fact that I now teach students who are like me. And you know that old parenting thing where like, I hope you have a child just like you? I have students walk into my office and say things like this. Kristin, this whole Catholic thing, walk me through it. Okay. Because my professor said something and I just cannot agree with him. Okay, let's slow down, let's talk it through, because you know, I've been doing theology now for 2 whole years and I know everything there is to know. Okay. Oh my goodness, you're me. 20 years ago. And now I'm stuck with you. No, but they are very precocious and they are extremely excited about their faith and about living in the world and trying to change it, and it's phenomenal. So, in a lot of ways, a lot of what I did for the Archdiocese as the coordinator of pastoral care, which was the person who did grief and trauma, I did a lot of crisis with children and teenagers, a lot of when people were removed from parishes for various reasons, was not exactly the happy fun job that you'd spend a lot of time coming home and going, wow, what a day! This job, definitely I come home with a lot of, okay, so the funniest thing happened to me today, stories. Yesterday was the senior 250s and half the students did not have costumes. So I ended up pillaging my house, putting together costumes because the theme was Wonderful World of Disney. Seemingly, getting dressed up as Christopher Robin holding a giant Pooh Bear is a woman magnet, is what I found out from a text message this morning. So, this is my new career. We're going to be talking about kind of my old life, what I got my doctorate in, so that's nice to use that. We're going to be talking a little bit about pastoral care with children and teenagers. We're going to talk about what to say when you're in those situations where maybe the student is difficult to reach, or maybe the student's been going through something. And then we're going to do a lot of practical. I'm kind of pushing some of the practical to the end. So if you're a one workshop person, and then you're going to go flip to a different workshop, I'm actually going to leave the PowerPoint with Marissa so that she can have like the practical at the end, so in case you want to take a look at it. My hope is to kind of whiz through material, but I'm also going to be asking you guys for your feedback. When that happens, please talk. Seriously, it's like the world's worst experience to be the speaker and go, so what do you guys think? Could somebody please talk, please? And you think to yourself, this is like being in elementary school, not having anywhere to sit in the cafeteria. Like, insecurity wells up, and then my husband has to deal with it when I get home. So, let's not do that.
Do you want me to?
Yep. Alright, let's start flipping through. We're going to spend part one talking about how do we build relationships with tricky.
Do you want to close the lights? No. Can you not read it?
Can you? Yeah. I'm in the way because I'm so tall.
You're so tall. Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you turn the lights off, the fans go off.
Oh, let's not turn them off. So let's keep going.
Oh, sorry.
Let's start talking about the tricky ones. So tell me, who are some of the students that you would say are tricky to reach when they're walk into youth group, or when they, when you're all sitting in a small group, and give me some characteristics. Yeah.
I mean, like, I guess, like, they're the ones that they have this attitude, they're coming in, they're sort of grouchy, and they have, like, this attitude, I don't want to be here, my parents are forcing me to be here, kind of, like, attitude. Like, I'm too good for this, I'm too good for this, things like that, so.
Or they're extremely shy. and they don't necessarily fit in. There's a lot of cliques, and they don't necessarily fit in where they're sitting or where you put them. And they're very difficult to pull out of that little shell during the hour and a half that you have them.
Absolutely.
This is stupid, I don't know why I'm here, God doesn't, that doesn't ever do anything for me, it's never helped me. It's a waste of time.
This is a waste of time.
You sounded so convincing, Bob.
I know, initially I'm like,
I was about to say, wait, I haven't started the workshop yet. You think it's stupid? No, I've got the content. No, but absolutely, I am done with this. Obligation, mandatory, those kind of words automatically send a student into you can't tell me what to do mode. But then you also have the students who want to be there but don't know how to link in. And
I was going to say, those kids that have never been exposed, they don't go to church. Yeah, they haven't been since their last sacrament. Especially in 7th grade, I teach, and they're like, parents drop them off and they have like no direction. And they don't have any faith formation they have because their parents aren't going to
our clean slates,
Yeah.
where everybody else is going, oh, well, yeah, and that happened at Pentecost, and the kids going,
That's what.
was I there? Did that happen? Oh, torn another sacrament. That's too many. I go to that Pentecost. Some of the other tricky ones that I've found, students with obscure interests. You know, every once in a while, I'd be teaching a class and a Jedi would walk in, and I'd be like, hey, Jedi. And the rest of the students go, oh, seemingly we have a Jedi. And then you go, oh, hey. Look at that. Students who, one of the tricky ones that I usually find, and this goes down to this, to each adult comes a different challenge. So you need to actually think to yourself, who do I find tricky? Because for me, the Jedi is fascinating. And I'll go find the Jedi and sit next to the Jedi and go, tell me about the Force. And just find the Jedi fascinating. I will find the obscure quiet kid that's sitting in the corner. I will go and sit with them and find out that they love to crochet and say, I don't know how to crochet. Maybe we could do crochet. I'm fine with that. The kids that I find tricky are jocks. Because I've never been a jock. And when the jocks would walk into the cafeteria, I kind of went in the other direction. So the big jock kid who walks in and goes, hey, what's going on, people? And sits down like, I would shy away from that relationship. Because I don't want to be, I listen to all the insecurities. I don't want to be laughed at. I don't want him to not realize that I'm the grown-up. But you gotta watch what's triggering inside of you when these kids are in their roles. That jock might need me, and Christ put that jock in that room for a reason. But I need to make sure that I'm willing to step outside and go, wait, I'm an adult. I have a life. You are a teen. You need Jesus. I got some Jesus. Let's talk. And I believe that the bottom line of reaching out to students is not necessarily just finding out what makes them quirky. I think the baseline of reaching out to students when they're struggling, when they're tricky, when they're pulled away, when they're in your face, when they're nasty, is first step knowing who you are and being confident with who you are. Because when you walk into that classroom and you're trying to build a relationship, if you are trying to explain to them that there is a God who loves them for who they are, and you don't believe it yourself, they know.